Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey guys.
You just said that you were going to be the one to do it this week.
Welcome back. Monday morning, coffee with the Charles Davis team. I think we've kind of strayed a little bit. Water.
Dr. Pepper.
Oh, yes.
I am.
Yeah, that's Dr. Pepper.
Healthy Dr. Pepper.
Right here. I'm holding down with the coffee.
So last time we were here, slide over just a little bit, Tay-Tay.
Our camera likes to shift.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Hey, you're not doing that. I don't want 5 minutes of missing you out of the frame. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, Charles.
So last time we spoke, we talked about becoming a buyer, what the process is, what the step is. So now we're at the offer part of it. So you've been pre-qualified, you've been out looking with us, you found the perfect house, dream house. Now you're ready to make the offer. So making the offer, you want to make a written offer. We use Georgia Association of Realtor Contracts for that. It's a standard form that's out there. It's great protection for a buyer, and it's a fair contract.
Yeah,
so
it's written by attorneys, so you know everything is correct. So it's not just something that's somebody
Edited
scratched
every
on a
year.
napkin.
Yeah.
It's constantly being updated with relevant real estate law to make it work.
So we use that. That makes it a good, clean offer, and you want to go into and you want to make sure that you focus to make the correct offer first.
What does that mean, clean offer?
So what we're correct or clean offer, what we're talking about doing is, obviously there's the terms that are purchase price, close date, closing attorney, earnest money amount, who's working with who, there's some other stipulations in there. Well, there's a blank called special stipulations. So you want to make sure that you don't go in there and you put 80 stipulations. You don't want to buy the seller's dog and paint this wall and change that fixture. So you want to make it as clean as possible. So you want the details or the meat of the contracts already in there. You want to try to get away from being too lengthy or detailed as far as what you're offering as your offer. So in the special stipulations box, you don't want to go in there and write anything in that's going to be,
Extraneous.
yeah, you could write pages and pages and pages. I mean, there's no end to it. So, but as a professional realtor, we come in and we make sure that your offer has what's in there, what really matters, and what's going to get your offer accepted. Another thing too is contingencies, exhibits.
Okay, contingencies are the amount of time that someone has to accomplish a certain task, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's several of them in there. One that's standard kind of built in, a due diligence period.
Okay.
It's a fancy name for inspection period, basically. So there's a standard time frame that we use for that. So you get to come in and you get to walk through that in due diligence period. The great thing about the due diligence period is you get to negotiate what needs to be repaired, what repairs. You get to evaluate what repairs need to be made. So all that happens during that period. When we're talking about some of the other contingencies in there, it's pretty standard finance contingency, appraisal contingency, and then there's also, which has become a common practice in a seller's market today, is the sale contingency of a buyer's property or the rental of their property. So basically, that buyer has to do something with their property in order to purchase the seller's property that they've made the offer on.
Okay.
So we try to stay away and pull back as many contingencies as possible because you're a stronger offer. I mean, today's a seller's market. Sellers are looking at 4 or 5 offers on the table. I mean, within the first week or two.
Right.
So we always try to go in, make our offers as strong as possible. And another thing we do too is the list of sales price. So we're looking at all this data, to going through what has recently sold, how much it's sold for. A lot of the stuff right now is about 97% list of sales price. So effectively, sellers are negotiating about 3% off their total list price right now.
So basically, if a house is listed for $100,000,
They're selling for 97.
they're selling for $97,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the average sales price in Coweta County, it floats right around 200. I think it's like 219 right now. So just to give you an example of that, $200,000 obviously is $6,000. So it'll be 194 is typically what it would sell for. So you can just so and so on doing the math with that.
But that's not always what it would sell for, right? Because you said it's a seller's market. So
Yeah, well, I mean, we're seeing stuff actually $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, even $10,000 above list price right now.
Okay.
So, but then again, back to that appraisal contingency.
Right.
Got to make sure that it appraises for what the contract price is. So we try to just play different scenarios out with the buyer and make sure that they understand what they're offering to a seller. Because effectively, if you're offering $100,000 to a seller, you're asking for $5,000 in concessions. So that might be closing cost, it might be other items that you put on there, whatever it is. effectively that seller is looking at your offer like a $95,000 purchase price. So if somebody else comes in and offers $100,000, no concessions, well then you just can't be out of that offer. So we make sure that we've got some really good, strong offers going in. That leads into really the next phase, and we've been kind of talking about this: negotiate the offer. So we're as your agent, we're doing that on your behalf. We're negotiating that offer, making sure that we're communicating directly with the other agent. They're talking to their client. We're keeping you up to date, moving it forward as quickly as possible, because there's an acceptance time on the contract, and you've got to get everything accepted prior to that date. Because if not, then you kind of leave the door open for somebody else to slip in. So you don't want to be negotiating for, in today's market, you don't want to negotiate for no more than about an hour.
Right.
That's not realistic,
Right.
but 24 hours.
Well, that's why
max.
it's important to come in with a strong offer from the get-go.
Yeah.
You know, this is not the market where you want to come in 20,000 below list price because you just want to try to see if you can get a deal.
Yeah, lowballing does not.
Yeah.
And if it's the dream house, seriously, $10,000 on a $250,000 purchase, buy the dream
Spread
house.
out over 30 years typically.
Yeah.
Get your house.
Everybody wants a deal, but you want to make sure that you've got a good, strong offer in place to where you make sure that you actually get the deal. So 'cause it's very, very competitive right now. So now that you've got that offer accepted, you're under contract, the binding agreement date. So everything in that contract works off the binding agreement date. So that's that due diligence period we were discussing, contingencies. There's different time frames. We could talk all day about time frames and what happens with that offer, walking through it. So you're accepted under contract. We're still working with you as your agent, and we're moving that towards the table. We refer to it as contract to close.
Right.
So this is where we're basically going back and forth with the lender, closing attorney, the seller's agent, and we even help conduct get everything lined up for inspections, any kind of special inspections that may need to be done. So we're doing all that within that time frame. So that 30-45 day window is just like boom.
Yeah, it goes fast.
It happens really, really quick. So really, really fast through that. We try to make it as smooth as possible. There are a couple of bumps along the way. There always is. It's a big purchase. You want to make sure you're doing the right thing. So
That's what we're going to talk about next week, though.
yeah.
The actual under contract process. What that
Yeah.
looks
So,
like.
so
Contract
we'll
close.
go through that contract to close process next week and talk about what needs to be done and all that kind of stuff and going through that.
Yeah.
So
Wow, that's a lot of good stuff.
Absolutely.
Hope everybody
yeah, I actually
Good
scripted
information
this.
right there.
Yeah, in case you can't tell, we're not looking at the reference sheet. I think that's everything we wanted to talk about on that front. We do want to mention that we put 3 new listings on the market last week. We have one that's in downtown Newnan that's listed for $169. It's a 3-2 brick ranch, very cute little house. We have one on Quarry Drive in Maple Creek Plantation, and that one is listed for $94,500.
We just had a discussion about the numbers.
Yes, I know. I lost it.
And Sarah was not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, I forbade Sarah from
I
putting
get
it
pretty pictures. I know the numbers.
And then we have our third listing is on Bellevue Ridge, which is in French Village in Sharpsburg, and
And that property is awesome.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
really close.
huge house too.
Full
so-
finished basement.
yeah,
Yeah, just been
It's really
painted,
nice.
just brand new carpet. It's the landscaping is awesome too. They've done a great job.
yeah.
with it.
And we listed that one at $399. So just those 3 new listings, plus what we currently already have on the market. We had a reduction on one of our other listings.
Handy
Good.
road.
Taylor
That's my
really
favorite.
wants that
I
house
love
for
it.
herself.
Yeah, so if
I'm
you
gonna
want
get
it, you better,
I'm
yeah.
working on it, okay?
And then what else we got going on? Ashley's at a closing right now, so
Yep.
Hey, Ashley.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Yay.
Good job.
Buyers.
And the rest of us are just here to hold down the fort. And
That's
all
our
she
Monday
wrote.
morning.
Yeah.
Yep. Monday morning.
Yeah, that was it.
Coffee with it.
Yeah. CBT!
All
Thanks
right.
for tuning in, guys. We'll be back next Monday morning, and we'll go through the contract to close process.
Perfect.
Have a
Bye,
good
guys.
week.
See ya.